A Podcast Has No Name, with your hosts, Doug Harrelson and Luke Aldridge.
Hey guys, and welcome back to A Podcast Has No Name, and writing solo is not a thing I gotta do anymore. I am here with my friend, Shaee, the Fill-In Flatt. He is going to help us get through this short period without Luke, and who knows, maybe we might end up including him more in other episodes and stuff. He has been an active member in the comment section since this podcast started. So happy to have you along. Shaee, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing great, Doug. I'm happy to be here and always take time out of my night to talk a little bit of Westeros. So I love the podcast. You guys are doing a great job with it, and disappointed to see Luke out for a little while because I enjoy his feedback, always listening to it. But I'm happy to fill in for a couple weeks while he's gone for sure.
And you get to fill in on a banger episode. Because when we were messaging about this, we hadn't even seen the episode yet. This could have been a complete dud. You could have just been coming in and just be like, oh, geez, this episode was... we just had to watch that. No, we get to celebrate like a good episode together. These episodes are, well, I mean, I don't know what it's like to review a bad episode, because since I've started this, or since me and Luke started this podcast, they've released nothing but bangers. So it's all because of me. So you can thank me for, or I need a cut from HBO executives as soon as possible. If you work for HBO, have your people talk to my people. We got to get that paycheck.
I mean, no, you're right. Because I actually thought it was going to be a filler episode more. I thought that the end of this episode was going to be the end of this episode.
Yeah, I thought the King's Landing thing was going to be... I thought this was going to be a pick up the pieces from the gullet and then King's Landing being taken in episode 3. So I was actually kind of shocked about the... So now they do have 6 episodes, but it does make me think they're going to give me more of the battles than the... We've already kind of brushed over 2 of the major battles in this season, but let's you know what? Let's get into the episode. We got a lot to talk about. Like, it's a good episode. I was excited. If you're one of the like cranky ones in the fandom, I'm okay. That's fine. Yes, there are changes from the book. We knew that was going to happen. There are issues that we have, but like overall, I thought this was a good television product. I would sign up to watch this.
I'm in both camps. I think it's great television, and I am guilty sometimes of complaining about the changes.
So, me and you have joked about it that this should have been like episode 9 and 10 of season 2, and we had the season 9 where everything goes crazy, and then you get the opening scene of this, which is just, it could have been like the cathartic beginning of season 2, episode 10, sort of regathering the pieces, like in restructuring to get ready for the next season. And it starts with kind of one of those like really intense emotional scenes, because Rhaena comes in, it is won, but it's the coldest victory. It's such a like hollow win, because the heir to the Iron Throne, the Crown Prince, the son of Rhaenyra, Jacaerys, is on a stretcher and he's no longer with us. And we talked about me and him, we were talking before the show about our notable performances and stuff, and we actually both agreed on Emma D'Arcy absolutely crushing this episode. And we don't want notable performances to always just go to the big major actors in it, but this performance was just phenomenal, as she has to see her son laying there, and she's fighting both the emotions of sadness and anger because he ignored everything that she said. And Shaee, your thoughts?
No, I thought it was a riveting performance. I mean, you know, these scenes get more difficult for me now that I have 2 children, and I struggle not to put myself in place of the parent and my child in place of the child on screen in any television or movie. And it takes you to a whole nother place, because you know it's every parent's worst fear, you know, that something would happen to your child. And one, this is the second time she's going through this. Obviously
Uh,
she lost Luke. And then now this one on top of it is not only losing a child, but the way that she lost the child, being locked in um, her room and not able to do anything about it, and then him defying her the way that he did, and there's just so many emotions come out, and she's yelling at him and shaking him and hitting him, and she doesn't know what to do with her hands, and she's screaming, and everybody's just kind of watching, and then people people are just, they don't know how to act because there's nothing you can say to
yeah.
console someone in that moment, and she carried it, that scene, and it was phenomenal. So yeah, I definitely agree that it was definitely the performance of the episode.
I just that that's such a hard emotion to enact on screen. Like there's one point
Yeah.
where her jaw is making just like these crazy expressions, but like I can think about myself at like maybe not that specific situation, but some of my most broken where like I'm just making hysterical looking faces, and like we're just I don't know what to do, and that's very much
Mm.
what I got from her. Like I don't know how to process what I'm dealing with. It's way too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, and I think realistically, this probably has to be a moment for Renera where, you know, she has to be asking herself if it's worth it at this point. Because
The
I
cost of the
think
crown.
if you were to ask a parent,
Yeah.
like even in that time, would you rather be on the throne or have both of your children alive? I think they're going to
If
take
you
their
asked her before the
children.
war,
And and so it's devastating. At this point, even if she wins, she loses. And that's a really hard thing to cope with.
oh, Shaee, you're just gonna come on my podcast and start spitting bars like that, even if she wins, she loses. Like that was poetry, my friend. Well done, well done. We might keep Shaee around. My God, Luke, you're not going anywhere. um, what
Triple threat.
where there is the tragedy, we have another family situation that has a different sort of resolution. I'm gonna do kind of what I did with the first review episode because they cut back and forth so much. I'd rather just talk about the entire arc at once rather than just jump back and forth where the scenes go. Because I think I'd rather just discuss that entire arc. So we're like at this point, I do want to just briefly kind of talk about Alan being on the beach and Alan being on the beach and talking, or and then Bela coming to also find her grandfather, and she's not a Valarian. We've discussed this. That there's a lot of people that call her and her sister Valarians because of the complexion of their skin. But they are Targaryen by name. But that's not important to this next part. But Corlys is her grandfather, and
Mhm.
and Alan is. We saw the during the battle him refer to him as father and him go absolutely AWOL Lohar because he had been knocked or because Corlys had been knocked off the boat by Lohar. Um, and there's a lot to this arc. Any thoughts from you on this particular part of it, Shaee?
This is one thing I think they've done really well with. We've seen Alan really slow play the acceptance of Corliss and really, almost play hard to get, right? And I think in the Battle of the Gullet, you see if there was an act from him of not wanting to accept him, but not wanting it to be easy and make it easy for him, it was instantly gone during the battle because he knew as much as he may have been hurt by Corliss in the past, he did not want to lose him. And I think that it was a real turning point for them. And I thought it was really good a really good transition for them. It's almost like you almost have to be confronted with the possibility of losing him to understand that you do want the relationship to go forward.
Ooh. Yeah, 100%. Like the second he realized that he might lose him, he valued him so much more.
Yep.
Like, I think I thought you put that really eloquently. Like, um, so there is a line from the book, and I'm actually going to have an issue with how they presented it in the show, because in the book it was someone congratulates Corliss on the victory, and he says, "If this is victory, I pray I win, I never win another."
Hmm.
And and the way it comes off in the book at that point is just like bitter and like, and this just kind of came off as exhausted, like him just saying it to them right there on the beach. How did you feel about
I
that?
didn't think it was great.
And it's one of my
I didn't.
favorite lines from the book. I was like really butthurt how
It's
it was executed. Yeah, they
the
gave me the
thing with the
line.
book. The thing with the book dialogue is there's so few dialogue that you really
Yeah,
want them to nail the iconic lines.
I like
There's actually
the
another
kingdom.
iconic line in the book that later in the episode we'll talk about that I was disappointed in.
Oh, okay. All right.
But this one, I agree. It didn't come off the way that I thought it was going to. I will say, they replaced it with, when he says, Corliss says to him, Alan, I have nothing left but to give you but a name, and Alan responds and says, and yet that's worth more to me than a mountain of gold.
That
I
was
thought that,
really cool. Yeah, 100%.
yeah, I thought that that line to me almost made up for the fact that the other line was not as good as I thought, because that, again, it's for me, it's relating, to my own kids. It's like if one of my kids, you know cared that much about carrying on my name, it would mean the world to me, and I know that did to Corliss as well.
But I don't know if you noticed the tension though. Whenever like Adam just like looks down at the ground because he didn't get the same blessing.
No,
Like
I
Adam
actually, no, I didn't notice
definitely,
that.
yeah. Like
Hey, real quick, we don't have to talk about it long, but did you think that I didn't notice this till the second time I watched, but did you think that they showed Ulf, Adam, and Hugh at the Battle of the Gullet in the opening
oh
scene
yeah,
of
yeah,
this
100%,
episode?
yeah. And so yeah, technically we got all 5 dragons at the, or technically we got 6 at the Battle of the
Yeah.
Gullet. Yeah. I realize, I guess, in hindsight, that like having 5 dragons swooping in, burning down ships might have been like just an unrealistic expectation on my part. But yeah, I did want the Battle of the Gullet to have
HBO
all the
gonna save their money.
dragons. You know, Moondancer was there, which it's funny. You only have 3 dragons there, and one of them is one of the ones that wasn't even there in the books. But I I don't mind this interpretation though. The season 3 stuff has landed well enough that I will. I mean, Aegon the Younger is now hanging out with Maelor the Missing and the Untold Stories, but we will see
Yeah,
how they kind of get the
it
plot where it's
was.
supposed to go. It does tell me
I
that.
guess if there was one change that to me bothered me the most, it would probably be that. I'm with
Yeah,
you.
I get
We got to
that.
see where they go with that,
I mean, I think that just
because obviously we know Aegon
let's bring
is a
this up
big
more in the
character.
spoiler section, because I have a lot to say about that, but it involves too many spoilers to discuss it here. I left the spoiler section kind of
I'm fine with
blank
that.
in here, but we
Okay.
will. So I want to talk about that, and then there was another little detail, but we will get to all of that at the end. I do not want our non-book reading friends to be alienated. Um, so we did not get the Battle of the Fish Feed, but we did get a fun song. I tried to remember the lyrics real quick, but I won't sing. I won't torture you guys with that. But yeah,
I thought we got not only a song, I thought we got a Westeros freestyle. But I don't know if
Fair.
you noticed, but they're kind of like taking one line at a time, and you think of
Uh,
something that rhymes, and
Irish.
it's your turn to
Uh,
go.
it's whose line is it anyways? The Irish drinking song.
And then at the end, I don't know her name, but
Black
she's
Alley.
the yes, yeah, the line of
Alley
but we've
Blackwood.
got Damon,
Yeah.
and she got stuck and it didn't rhyme, and then they rhymed it at the end. It was just like, it
Yeah.
was fun. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
They told him to shove his. They told Aemon to shove his dragon up his. I'll let you use your
Hit,
imagination.
yeah,
Which I would not
that
want to
is,
shove
yeah.
Vagar up that part of my body. That doesn't sound
No,
pleasant.
no. And I thought it was great, and
Oh,
it was a really lighthearted scene in the midst of all the chaos, and
I'm sorry.
unfortunately, it got cut down.
Black Alley aura though.
Yeah.
Oh, like aura queen. Oh my gosh. Um, the actress that plays Black Alley. If you're out there, I will marry you yesterday. I don't need. I should have looked up her name beforehand. That would have probably helped my proposal here, but yeah, no, she is so awesome with the black eye paint. Like,
It was great.
yeah, she's gonna be a favorite of mine. I can tell. I liked her in the books. I liked her in the books.
Yeah,
So this is.
I did too. I didn't, for some reason, I didn't put two and two together on who that was. Now I'm with
I
you
only
now.
found that out through like one of the David Lightbringer episodes. Where they were reviewing the trailers. They were like, "Oh, Black Out," and like, and so I remember the visual, but like just
Okay.
seeing it like live and in person, I'm so looking forward to more of her scenes. Um, we did get Damon also saying goodbye to Alice Rivers, and she wants Harrenhal, but there's a cool little part. I don't know if it's cool or not. I haven't decided. Caraxe's drinking water. I actually am not sure if dragons drink water in Westeros. I'm gonna tell you why. They are fire
Hmm.
made flesh. Though I guess water can ignite, or can, like, small amounts of water that don't drown a fire can intensify it because they'll, like, if you know enough science, you know the oxygen, the flames will eat that. The dragon drinking water. I just was sitting there with like my pen and paper, just like, does this work? Is this I'm not sure the laws of physics in Westeros or biology or there's no way anybody else thought about this. Like, there's probably like
No,
4 to 7
I didn't
people.
think about it. I didn't think about it.
All right, I'm
The
alone. That's
visual
fine.
was cool, but I didn't think
Yes.
about the logistics of it.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe dragons need
I did,
water.
I did think the end of that scene was interesting. And, I won't touch on it much, but just when Alice leaves and says, "Don't come back here. Remember what I told you."
Oh yeah, more on like the prophecy she had given
Yes.
before.
Yes.
We'll spare a little bit of that just because,
Yeah,
and of
I
course
didn't
it's
want to say
going
too
to it.
much, but
Yeah, no. Good caution. Yeah, that's but like her even wanting Harrenhal and Damon just being like, dude, like honestly, like this is. I mean, we already know this castle's promised to the Freys.
right.
Like, and it does suck. Like, I do wish that he could just give it to someone that would actually
You.
love Harrenhal and treat it well
Mhm.
and like look out for the people there. Because I don't think that Alice is a bad person, but I'm sorry, baby. This is Westerosi law. Like,
That's not how it works.
you have a bastard's last name and no husband. You don't get to inherit Harrenhal. Like, I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying it's the way it is.
Yeah, and I think that later in the episode we maybe we start to get a glimpse into her formulating a plan on how she thinks she can get it.
Yeah, perhaps she's making a new ally, a new hostage. we'll get into that. We do have some other character sort of interactions to get into though, and I didn't know that Aegon and Laris was the buddy comedy that I needed to get me through the pain. Like, why are their scenes amazing
I
though?
love when he opened the
I am
door of
surprised.
the and he said, "I take it back, I am surprised."
Was it? I am
And he sees the
mistaken, Your Grace. I
tragedy,
am surprised. I think that was the exact quote. I could be off a little bit,
and yeah,
but
I thought that was just so funny. Laris is to me, Laris is one of those people that's like accidentally funny. You
yes,
know,
yeah, yeah, 100%.
it's not that he's trying to be funny. He's just so funny though.
And Aegon being just so like impulsive is just like the perfect sort of because Laris is smart, calculating, and makes decisions based on logic and reason and planning. And Aegon just goes with just like his anger and his rage, and just honestly his lack of any sort of training to do anything, and his lack of parenting, and he's just um. It's funny. He's technically the oldest child to Alicent, but he still has the middle child complex that Aemon has as well because the Viserys always loved Rhaenyra more.
Yeah, yeah,
But the dynamic is so good though. Like,
yeah. No, I'm loving their scenes as well. I really enjoy actually both episodes of their scenes. Has been really
well,
good.
also Tom is just I keep forgetting his like he's got one of those double last names which always give me fits. But the actor playing Aegon in the last season, he took my breath away, and he's just like has not stopped running with it. He is so tremendous.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
The
we
casting in general
oh yeah,
is
home run.
and not and on all three shows.
Yeah,
It's phenomenal. You know,
I
all
can't name a
three.
bad
They
cast
really
character.
nail it.
And this is where when
Right.
people are like they want Henry Cavill to be Aegon, and I'm like, well, he's a little too old for it. And also, I trust HBO to just bring some dude I've never heard in to just come in and slay. Like, I really do trust them to do that.
I
They have made errors. HBO is not free of sin. Their writers are not free of sin. There have been mistakes have been made, but casting, nah, y'all A pluses across the board on all of
yeah.
the interpretations. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I know the Henry Cavill thing's really popular online. I don't think it would happen. I mean, maybe if they're gonna do a movie, but instead of a show, but you're right. They don't need Henry Cavill to play Aegon.
they'll figure it
They
out.
could find somebody that does a good job with it.
Yeah. All right,
Even though he does look like he was born to
be
be
a
a
Targaryen.
Targaryen.
Yeah. Give him to play a
Yeah.
Targaryen, I'm fine with. I just don't think Aegon in particular is the right Targaryen for him to play. Like, have him play a middle-aged Jaehaerys. All right, we're going down a rabbit hole we don't need to go down right now because we're already a little bit behind on the schedule. But that is all right. I'm enjoying the conversation. We do have sort of Alicent's plot at King's Landing where she finally got Aemon to leave, but now she has to go around and she has to go, talk to the Gold Cloaks and then go talk to the High Tower guards with the Scorpions and the household guard outside. And there's a lot that happens. And then Jasper Wild, aka Iron Rod. Book fans know a lot more about Iron Rod than show fans do, but he showed us something in this scene for sure. And yeah, we'll get to Helena's part in this, but like any big thoughts on the Alicent's sort of trying to be the master manipulator? She's not quite her father, but
It's it's another thing I don't love that they changed that they've kind of added I guess to her. I don't really love it. I really didn't
you want more of the
understand the
vicious
need
Alicent?
for I think my biggest issue with the whole thing is I thought it was such a brilliant coy by Damon to go around um and lure, Aemond out through the gold
Ah,
cloaks. They've kind of taken away some of Damon's aura in that by like making this whole thing seem like it was like Alicent's plan.
ooh,
Um
that's a really good
but
point.
but but the scene with Jasper Wild, I don't understand why they put that in either, the whole scene there in the bedroom. But I don't know.
I mean, I do think that
I mean, they
it's
needed a
had for him
reason
being
to.
like
I
a
guess it was
yeah,
just to get to that ending scene with him in the throne room, a reason to have him locked up, I guess.
sure.
But I don't know. It was a lot. I get the feeling that the show is trying to make Alicent
More of a
a
victim.
very sympathetic character. And I think that they lost the audience's love for Alicent at some point, and I think they're trying to almost regain it. And I think we're going to see more of that in the future episodes as well
Well,
for a certain
I
reason.
mean, when we get to the end of this episode, it's very easy for her to become a very sympathetic character. I adored Helena when push came to shove, and her having to talk to the guards standing watch on the Scorpion. She was like, "I don't want any dragons hurt." It tracks for her
No
character.
beast will be harmed.
That's 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 my that's my little autistic queen, and we love you, Helena. This is a pro Helena
I
podcast. Even no matter if you're Team Black or Team Green, this is a pro
Yeah.
Helena podcast. I adore
Oh,
her.
Helena's. I don't know how you could have any issue with Helena
Uh,
of anyone on that side. Helena, you're not going to have any issues with. And I actually I actually love Helena's scenes for a multitude of reasons, but I love digging into her scenes each week and trying to figure out if there's something more I should be paying attention to and what she's saying or
oh,
doing
her little
because
prophecy things. Yeah,
yes, I love
he'll have
that.
to lose an
So
eye. Like that one's iconic to me. Like,
yeah, and there's a few of them. Honestly, like there. I don't know based on this one, but I well, I don't know what I can say. Um, Maybe we'll talk about this at the end.
yeah. No. It when in doubt, like let's use caution. I think that ruining these type of shows is tough. I though there is a certain amount of risk you take when you decide to consume YouTube or podcast content, whether it's iTunes or like Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever. If you consume content about a show actively going on, you may stumble upon a spoiler. I do think that that's just kind of a risk you take as a consumer. But I try my best to, or we try our best here to allow this to be a safe space, pre spoilers, and then. But we do want to acknowledge the fact that there's a lot of people that consume this type of content that are the book readers. They are the ones that like know how the story ends in the end. But we do have to press forward. I give us a big time block for this, but I did really enjoy Damon bitch slapping Ulf the White. Uh, there's a lot of people you can give your nonsense to, and Ulf has been disrespectful and blatant and crass with everybody. Daemon Targaryen is
Well,
not the one. Like,
well, you know, he's so disrespectful in so many ways. Like the first time he sees Jace, he's like, "Wow, your hair really is as dark as they say." And the first time he
yeah,
sees Daemon, he says, "Oh, the Rogue Prince himself." Like Daemon doesn't want to be called the Rogue Prince. You don't.
maybe he
That's
does, but he
something.
wants to be greeted as "Your Grace, my Prince." Like,
It, yeah, yeah. It's more, maybe something you call Daemon like when you're talking about him, maybe not to him, you know. So um, he just, you know, he definitely has a way of putting his foot in his mouth when he first meets these royals for the first time, and I think it's also a funny dynamic watching him do it, and then also watching Hugh just kind of be like, "Oh."
Yeah, Hugh is humiliated. Yeah.
He's just kind of like, I know I'm associated with this guy, but I don't want to be.
Yeah, like, he's forced to kind of suffer the fool. A little other part that happens in the same scene was him confronting Massaria, being like, "Oh, look where you've gone," and now it feels like the awkwardest sort of like thruple gone wrong.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if we're gonna get a pretty weird scene between the three of them at one point.
Oh, I think weird scenes are coming. I don't know if it'll involve all three of them, but definitely weird scenes in pairs are coming. Brace yourselves. Like, it's yeah. Uh, but at this point, also, he's gay. He does eventually console his wife, and is telling her like, "Don't let your sons die in vain." Like, and she's just completely broken and doesn't care about anything anymore. Like, the one thing that woke her up just for a second, though, even then she kind of sloops back into depression for a second until he starts going like full high Valyrian on her. The wake up that she got whenever he mentions that Vagar has left the city, like,
Hmm.
it's the shack and the bed, real shit. Like,
I I think the show does a really good job of letting you know how big of a deal Vagar is. Um,
yes,
and how much of a balancing act he is, because I think you could look at it and be like, why don't they just go? They have so many more dragons than them, but there's always that fear that Vagar might 1v3 their ass. You
yeah,
know, like
yeah. Well, no, but like even if
and-
they defeat him, even if they defeat Vagar, at what cost? Because now I think both
right.
sides are considering the cost of this war. Like, and I don't mean financial. Like,
Right, yeah. So I think that the show does a really good job of letting you know how much he tips the scales maybe in one way or the other. And not only Vagar but Aemond as well, as far as, you know, because it's one thing to have the dragon, but I think at this point Aemond has um a pretty good relationship with Vagar, and that means a lot as well.
yeah, I mean, he's been riding Vagar a while now. Like, he's very comfortable on Vagar.
Yeah, I think he's far from, you know, I think the point where we saw him with Luke, where he didn't necessarily have full control over Vagar. I think at this point he probably does.
Oh yeah, 100%. Okay, so well, I mean, as much as you can over a dragon. The
Right.
idea that we control the dragons is just an illusion, to quote my boy Dizzy T.
Yep. Yep.
You know.
Knowledge.
All right. So we do have a couple of small scenes, but I actually just really want to get to the meat and potatoes. But Rhaena seeks asylum in the Vale is one of them. Cool thing. I don't want to dig too deep into it. I'll give you a second here to go on that, Shaee. I did enjoy the single line from Kristen Cole to Harrenhal after they see Vagar flying overhead. Like, all right, mission forward. And then
Let's go.
this one, I think we might talk a little bit more about the Aemond at Harrenhal, where uh, uh, he's not dead, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I hope that's not a massive spoiler. I didn't do the like watch the trailer for the next episode before I did this, so that's normally a thing I do. But I quickly finished the notes because I was already running behind, and I did not want to waste Shae's time any longer. So I didn't even watch the like preview for the next episode. Was he in the previews for the next episode? Did you see them?
I actually never watch it.
I do because of this podcast. That's literally the reason I do it. Because
Okay.
normally I agree, but Aemon's not dead. But I am
Yeah,
curious
he's
if
not
this
dead.
is like, is Alice gonna do him like she did Damon? So, any thoughts on those sort of three scenes? The Rain in the Veil, Kristen sort of seeing Vagar and commenting, and then finally Eamon taking a blade. And rest in peace, Simon Strong. I do not want to brush over his death. Phenomenal performance. I don't know the actor, but like Simon Strong was a nothing character in the book, and I actually really enjoyed his performance.
Yeah, I think that um, the Reina situation, I think it just kind of shows how desperate she is right now to that she would go back there. And I think, I'm intrigued to see where they'll go with that. At least she's back where she was in the book, and I'm happy about that. Um, I think Christian Cole just, hey, he's kind of probably worried about if Eamon's coming, and then he's happy that he did, and here we go, let's go, guys. I told you guys. Now he can have some indication that, see, told you,
Gang, gang.
never a doubt,
Yeah.
never a doubt,
Had that.
he's coming.
Always had.
So, and then Eamon, I love um, to me, it reminded me of Aegon the Conqueror burning Harrenhal, and the way that he took Harrenhal, and just complete destruction. But then also, I thought it was a great parallel, obviously, with Daemon in season two. He, took it, so he, took the castle solo,
Yeah.
just as Daemon did, and even to the point where he walks in the room exactly as Damon did, with the Strong family sitting there eating just as they were when Damon
Yeah,
got
the
there.
parallels are
There's a
very real there for sure.
and I thought the show made it exactly the same, and then they show you the similarities between the two, but then the differences in um Damon being willing to accept their allegiance, whereas Aemond puts them to the sword.
Yeah.
And I think that it shows you maybe that even though there are a lot of similarities, there's probably a little bit more darkness in Aemond.
Ooh, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they both kind of have the second son complex,
Hmm.
but like how they respond to it is different.
Right. And so I really did enjoy that. And then, I was referring to it earlier about Alice maybe finding a new way to get Harrenhal. I think that when
Yeah.
she sees that maybe Aemon's life is in her hands, she maybe, to me, sees, okay, if I can get Aemon Targaryen to owe me his life, maybe one day he'll owe me a debt that's large enough for that I could
Largest
actually have a
Harrenhal.
legitimate plan to this thing. So I think that she's definitely going to use that to her advantage, and I think that
Definitely a
Aemond,
thread to follow for sure. Like I'm very excited to see the next couple episodes and see how that develops.
yeah, and we know Aemon has like he's got some she's probably going to be treating him like a mother for a few episodes, taking care of him,
Oh,
and
is
we
it
know
gonna
he's
get
got
weird
some
again?
mommy issues, and
Yeah,
we'll see where that
it's gonna.
goes.
Oh god, we're gonna get some weird sex scenes. Awesome. That's what we signed up for. All right. But let's talk about the crux of the episode.
Beat the door down.
They land in King's Landing, and looks like everything's going to plan. King's Landing is welcoming them, and swords are thrown down, and Damon says the real test is within. So, um, I am actually gonna say my noteworthy moment is Damon when getting attacked by the High Tower guards. If we missed one of your moments or scenes, please let me know right now. But
Not
when
yet.
when when they all are coming at him, and Rhaenyra is like terrified for a second, and Damon is giddy. He's like, Damon, all the smoke Targaryen wants it. Like, come at me. Like, the memes have been joking about like how he doesn't ride the dragon during battles. he's just down there in the ground fighting in the mud, and it was like, like I don't know if you watched the Fallout series, but like the very first episode, the ghoul. Did you watch Fallout or no?
Yeah.
The ghoul.
Yes,
He's
I
like,
have.
whenever
Yeah.
people say
Yeah.
it's one last job, it's because their heart isn't really in it. He's like, I don't
Yeah.
do this for the money. I do this for the love of the game. Like Daemon for the love of the game, Targaryen out here just slaying Hightower guards, and he's like, anyone else? Who else? Who wants it? Like that moment, because we dealt with Daemon tripping balls in Harrenhal for a long time there.
Hey,
And now
you
we
know,
just get to
y-
see Daemon do Daemon shit again. Like I'm already
e-
maxing my
every
quota
time you
on bad words.
see, every time I see Damon with a sword, like kind of in this element, I always just think of the line, 3 men or 30, he's still Damon Targaryen
Like,
from the book. So, but yeah, no, he's definitely in his element right there for sure.
um, I do also.
My moment
Go ahead.
is right in there with that. My moment is actually them walking down the hall together in unison, like step by step, and just the power of them as a couple and how it looks as they're just on a mission,
Yeah.
going through the Red Keep. The music, the visuals.
Oh, I put
At
a
one
thing in the
point
show
they
notes
even
about
like,
Robert Jawadi's like score during this entire scene. The
yeah,
violins just hitting dun dun
oh
dun with the
gosh, it's so
drums,
good.
like
And at one point there's like a lip of like a step or something that they have to take down, and they both take it at the same time, and they're like in lockstep,
yeah.
and to me that moment was really, really, really good. For me. I really liked that.
Yeah, yeah. The Ramin Djawadi score over all of it though just adds so much to the like magnitude of these moments. Like it
Yes, it
really
absolutely
does.
does.
And
There's no replacement for it.
okay, so this I think this is probably a part that you disagree. Probably, I don't mind how they handled it because Damon had secured sort of the gold cloaks before he had went to King's Landing in the books. There was no like sort of
Hmm.
like confrontation or like standoff where there was a moment of tension. I, I, I don't think that that's a significant enough change to like upset me. In fact, like it was done for a dramatic purpose, and it created a really cool standoff in the throne room with the Hightower guards and what I believe that's Rickard Thorne, who book readers might
Yes.
know is might have some significance we don't know because the one of the characters he's involved with we've yet to see. So hashtag Maylor the missing. But Rickard Thorne was also the one that escorted Alicent into the Kingswood to go on her little float tour. You know, awesome, great use. That is one thing I'll compliment season 3. I've not had any obnoxiously wasted scenes. Like season 2, that scene, like there's wasted scenes in season 2, which makes us more upset about characters like Nettles and stuff missing. But like season 3, I've not felt like there was a wasted scene.
Yeah, no, I haven't either. I don't disagree with you. I think that the gold cloak scene, obviously it all seemed too easy when they opened the door and there was no one in their way, and then the household guard comes, and then you kind of get this moment where Damon says, as the gold cloaks come behind him, he says to Rhaenyra, "Stay close, Rhaenyra."
Her pulling out her
And
sword
because
was a crazy word too.
he's a little worried, but then when he sees Sir Luther, I think he has a feeling that
Yeah.
everything's good. And my line of the episode was um, when Sir Luther said, "The Gold Cloaks remember our commander, Daemon Targaryen."
He's the one that gave us these
I think
cloaks.
yeah, and
20
the
years ago.
the line from the book that was omitted, and it had to be omitted because it actually, Gwaine was the
Yeah,
one that made the line happen. But in the book, Gwaine is in the throne room with them, and he says he actually confronts Sir Luther about being a turncloak. And the line to me was so iconic because Sir Luther said,
Damon's the one that gave us
Damon
these
gave us
clothes.
these cloaks, and no matter how you turn them, they're still gold.
Yeah,
And I just think that line was really good. I wish that it was in
they're
there,
they're
but
doing a different arc with
um,
Gwen, which I'm fine with. Him and Chris. It would have been cool, but like I don't want to
I
nitpick
wish they
at.
would have.
Yeah,
I don't mind them doing a different arc with Gwaine. I wish they could have found someone else to help Sir Luther deliver that line.
fair. Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
like like him saying it to an antagonist as opposed to saying it to Damon. Is that what you're kind of getting at?
Well, no, like and instead of Gwaine calling him a turncloak, maybe you could have had Ironclad call him a turncloak, at some
Oh,
point or
okay. That
something.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
But anyway, it's not that big of a deal. I thought the scene was up to that point was really really good. And obviously it made for great television, and it makes you feel, like I said, whenever he says that they're loyal to Damon, and then obviously Rhaenyra's claim it, it's like, yes,
Yeah.
that's what we've been working for. We
So
won
yeah, and
for now.
so Rhaenyra immediately is like, bring me Aegon. Aegon's gone,
Yep.
and they even they find Iron Rod in the dungeons, and but this random scrubby looking dude that works in the black cells is like, Laris left you, and this so the auto in a box thing at the end of last season, I thought was going to lead to something, but it actually just had him be in the same place the whole time. And but then Laris being behind it is crazy because he was asked
Yes,
by Aemon to summon Otto to King's Landing, which I guess technically he did, but he did it as a
he
gift to
did.
Daemon, which is Laris. There are layers that, which is cool because Laris was a sketchy character in the book. So he's the one character that I actually think you should, like, taking the book text to the show. You should make alterations because he's so good at being cunning that the book should not have all of his like misdeeds written. Does that make sense?
Correct, because it's historical, and you wouldn't even know about all this, but about all the plans that he put in motion. So I completely agree. But no, I loved that he did it. It makes sense, I think, for his character because I think he could envision a world where no matter what, the Greens still want to go back to Otto as hand, and it's obviously a position that he's vying for pretty strongly. So it's kind of his way of checkmate. I'm going to take
Ooh,
this
that's an
guy. Got
interesting take. Like he's fine with Otto being sacrificed because it means even if the blacks win, he's gotten some sort of like, well, hey, I gave you Otto, like I'm not the worst guy in the world. But also if the
Yep,
greens win, he's like, well, don't you guys need a hand now? Like,
yep.
yeah,
And I thought it was a great play by him because, like, he comes out either way.
yeah. I want to get into a few more notes before we enter our spoiler section. Um, Allison and Helena attempting to escape is obviously, but to no avail. Like we don't actually. Let's get to the real thing. Let's get to Otto Hightower being brought before Rhaenyra Targaryen, and oh, I forgot to tell you, the thumbnail is 100%. I'm pretty sure I've decided the thumbnail for this one is going to be "This is the moment you become queen," with each of our faces right next to it. So probably something you just clicked if you're listening to us right now. But yeah, this is the moment you become queen. She's asked to do something very, very difficult, and then like we've talked about the cost of this war repeatedly.
Mhm.
Are we getting our evil Rhaenyra arc?
I think we are. I I agree with what you said last week that and even in past episodes about they haven't made Rhaenyra gray enough. They are definitely making up for lost ground.
Yeah.
Uh they and quickly. I think that we're about to see a totally different Rhaenyra. And I at first I thought they were going to shy away from a lot of the um, repercussions of what we saw in this episode that come after this episode, but no, I don't think they are at all. And also, like, I was worried that, and one thing that I didn't want them to do was I thought they were going to just force this Rhaenyra and Alicent friendship for like the whole show. Um, and
Yeah. It's
it
gonna be
doesn't look
difficult to
like
be
they
friends
are at
right
all
now.
now.
Like the
Because I think clearly
yeah.
Alicent, in Alicent's mind, Rhaenyra has betrayed her, with what happened with Otto, and then in Rhaenyra's mind, Alicent probably betrayed her because Aegon is not there,
Ooh, yes.
and so I think they're done. Is a
Yeah.
easy way to say it, but yeah, the
Things have
scene
gone
is
too
really
far now,
good.
yeah, for sure. I
What did you think about right after what you're talking about the thumbnail being? What did you think about Rhaenyra and the act itself there?
I mean, so the first time I watched it, I didn't actually catch that Damon had given her Dark Sister because I was like, because I was under the impression that she was carrying Jace's sword, which that is the
Mhm.
sword she is carrying on her, but she did use Dark Sister because I was like, dang, that's an impressively clean cut for someone that doesn't like. I heard a reference in the Lightbringer recap of just like it's way better than Theon hacking off. Trying to remember his name. Was it Royce? The
Yes,
in like
yes,
one of the
yes, yes.
early seasons
Theon
of Game
did
of
a very
Thrones,
poor job.
where he has that, and even Otto says, "I don't want to be hacked to bits." He says, "Please let Damon do it. I just want a clean ending, like which is fair. Like if I'm gonna get my head cut off, like make it a clean swoop." She misses the first time and
Yeah,
strikes clean the second. I
I
am
think it's a big moment for her because
100%.
as soon as Damon said, or as soon as Otto says, "Let Damon do it," there's no world where she can allow Damon to do it.
That's a very
Uh,
good point. Yeah.
because
She tells him to talk no further.
there's a lot of people in that room that I think were wondering, are we just gonna have a situation where Rhaenyra sits on the throne, but Damon is the power? And
Yeah.
I think that she has to answer that question,
Yes.
to a lot of people in that room, and Damon helps her do it.
For sure. Yeah. There's there is one other thing I do want to kind of consider for a second. If we do get like a more evil Rhaenyra, the parallels with Daenerys are going to get very, very real. And a lot of people are very upset. I did not mind the Mad Queen arc. I did not like how it was rushed, and I did not like how it was executed. And you did mention that it's happening pretty quickly, but I think it's happening pretty quickly in immediate response to tragic events. I don't think it's inorganic the way it felt like it was with Daenerys. Does that make sense?
I don't either. I
This
don't
feels
either.
more organic.
I
I didn't. I like. We didn't need the Daenerys mad arc. I think we need Rhaenyra to be a little bit crazy. Like I think we need it. Like I think it would
Yeah, I'm
show
in the
better.
minority on Daenerys as well. I thought Daenerys was all. I thought that was always her end. But I agree.
Interesting.
They did it wrong. And they rushed it. But there were clues as
Yeah,
Game of
yeah, yeah,
Thrones
for
went
sure.
on that was gonna happen.
I will burn cities to the ground. She said that in like season 2 or 3 or something. Like,
Yeah, I thought that was always, I never bought into Daenerys is gonna end up on the throne, or Daenerys was the prince that was promised, or anything like that. I thought that she always was probably gonna have a tragic end. But I agree, Rhaenyra, you know, it's and it's interesting. I think that she is dealing with so much right now. That it's relatable uh, to me as a parent. Anything that she does right now is justified. Uh, you know, she's lost two children in this war at this point. If I can't, I would, I would not
Yeah, if
want
there's
to
anything that
know
would release
what.
the most wrath that you have.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to know what I would do in that situation
Yeah.
to anyone or anything
Yeah,
that
and I'm
came in
sure
my
many
path.
of the parents that are listening right now probably feel very similarly to how you feel. Like they
Because
might not be angry people, but the second the children are involved, it will flip a switch. Like it's not um so I always made the last time I was involved in a fist fight, and I know I'm not a parent, so this is not quite a perfect analogy, but the last time I was involved in an altercation, someone blatantly said something very disrespectful to the woman I was dating, and I told them to stop once, and then they didn't stop, and I just swung. And the thing is, you could have said whatever you wanted about me. You could have called me every name under the sun. I would be like, okay, cool, whatever. Do not care. Like, but when it's someone I love,
Mhm.
and like when you're talking about a parent with a child, when it's someone I love and that's who you cause harm to, it's a very different sort of reaction. Like love will
Yeah.
create a much stronger anger than personal pride or any other sort of small thing could.
If I was gonna be nitpicky, I wish that you remember how her face looked after Luke, where it was she was
Yeah,
crying.
100%. I've had to
She
record
was
that for B roll
crying.
multiple times. Yeah,
Yeah, she was
the
crying,
now it's
but
on
she
face. Yeah,
was focused and determined and
yeah.
angry. Uh, I would have preferred that than like
Kind
the
of her shaking
broken
emotional. Yeah,
limpy. It wasn't that she was crying. Her crying is
she was
justified, but
broken though, coming out,
the
walking up the
body
stairs. Yeah,
language,
yeah. The body language.
the
Good point. Yeah,
shrug, the slump shoulders, and
like just kind
the
of pivoting towards the throne, not really like confidently stepping towards it. Like, yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I would have preferred to see that like emotional anger out of her rather than like the almost like defeated like because I mean if you think back to last week and this is probably a harsh comment that I'm going to make but if you think back to last week she said she actually quoted Queen Elizabeth the first but she
Yeah,
said I may have the weak and feeble body of a woman but I have the spirit and stomach of a king
you
and
didn't have the stomach of the king
I think in
after
this
like, or of the king after like beheading Otto. You were sick. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it may be harsh, but I think in this episode we saw that that's not true.
Um. What's the Viserys thing? I've referenced this probably like 3 episodes in a row now on this podcast. But the crown is a burden. It's not a
Yes, and she's
prize. It is.
feeling the
Yeah.
weight of the burden for sure.
Yeah. We're a little over time already, but I do want to give us a brief spoiler section. Do you have anything before we get into that though? Anything else for just more general?
No, just we touched on it, but I was excited that they kept the lore of Alicent being brought in at the end, and I think you and I know where that's gonna go, but
Yeah. The
I was
opening
happy that
scene is going to be
Alicent
so
did
awkward.
not escape.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, for those of us that are show fans only, I'm going to ask, unless you do not mind spoilers, to hit like, hit subscribe, download 5 stars on all your podcast platforms. And please, in the comments, give all love to Shaee. If you see flat lines in the comments, that is him. Please give him all the love. Like coming in, kind of like a couple of days ago, he agreed to do this, and he's come in like a champ and handled this show great. Fill-In Flatt, the man. Hoping we can keep making this work for the next few episodes while Luke is away. but like really appreciate him being here. But we are going to get into spoilers, so this is your official spoiler warning. Um, I have a I did not finish all these in the notes, so I'm worried I'm going to forget one or two of them. I kind of now see this is something we've like talked about a lot in like the spoiler parts of previous episodes is the how is Hugh going to end up being a betrayer? And I think it's Damon being a dick is what's going to do it.
I think that's what's going to do it for Ulf.
Well,
I think what's
Ulf's betrayal was so easy to write. Whatever, Ulf's going to betray. Like shocker.
I think
Like,
I think we saw his
people that haven't read the
Hugh's
book know.
wife. We saw Hugh's wife in this episode
Yes, we did.
in the town when the dragons were flying over. I think something bad is going to happen to his wife, and while Rhaenyra's while things are going bad with her reign, and I think Hugh will blame that on Rhaenyra. I actually think that's how Hugh will turn.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like that was kind of my working theory before the season started was definitely something involving his wife. Whether she was like, or whether he
Hmm.
was like forced to comply to like keep her safe or something. Like, definitely, she was very central in it because they built up their situation very driven with the narrative, and the fact that they've shown her this early and it makes a lot of sense. It really does check out. The Alice Rivers and Aemon plot
Interesting.
is because she did a lot of work on Daemon. I would argue Daemon's character has significantly changed since those events.
Yeah, no, he definitely has. Definitely went into Harrenhal as more of a conflicted character about what he wanted and came out of it with like a clear purpose of uh the role that he's to play in, for
I don't
lack of
think
a
she
better
makes
term, the
Aemon
Song of Ice
good
and
though.
Fire.
I don't think she's gonna make Aemon good. Like not? No.
No, no,
I'm
like I
curious.
said, I think that she probably sees, hey, if I have a Targaryen child with Aemond or something along those lines, can I then have a path to Harrenhal, which is what she ultimately wants, and
Yeah,
you know, eh,
we've given like a direction for our motive, like yeah.
yeah, and like we talked about it, I did, you know, think too that the line of we talked about it earlier, but of her telling Damon like, remember what I told you, don't come back here, was really good. Know, uh, obviously we know what will happen there with Aemon and Damon probably next season, um, but I thought that was a good. I love the little breadcrumbs for the book readers that
Yeah,
no one picks up on.
they
Like,
have planted stuff like like seasons
yeah.
before it matters. They've planted stuff like which is cool. Like I do appreciate that. It does help. I think the
Hmm.
last one that's kind of spoiler related was the. Oh, did you have more? Continue. Sorry, I did not mean to cut you off.
Well, I have one I want to ask you about when you get done. Just one real quick I want to ask you about.
Is it still with the vein or Amond and
No,
Harrenhal?
no, no.
Okay. The one I was going to bring up just now was Rhaena in the Vale. So you had mentioned like it's kind of where she's supposed to be in the book, but it's a very different sort of situation because she's not going to be hiding at the Eyrie. She's going to be apparently just like hiding in the mountains in the Vale, like with the dragon,
In the Vale somewhere, yeah.
and it does kind of set up the situation of the fallout sort of at the end, making a lot of sense because like if Rhaenyra ends up asking Daemon to kill his daughter,
Yeah,
and like
that's gonna be.
he could just tell her to fly far and fly fast, and then he could just decide, you know what, I'm just gonna go kill this one-eyed dude and call it a day.
We like obviously they're combining Nettles with Reyna and into one character, and um, some of that works and some of it doesn't. Obviously, with Nettles, she slept with Damon, and that caused the rift, and they're clearly gonna make that the rift now. I agree with you. Will be that Rhaenyra will want Rhaena dead, whereas Damon obviously is not gonna take his daughter being executed. So definitely that will probably cause the rift for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of my working theory. It seems to make the most sense. What was your moment you had? Your question?
Little breadcrumb. Um when Alicent went to the garden to see Helena, there was a caterpie and a butterfly. She had a caterpie on her finger and a butterfly on the book. And I wondered if it was a nod to Helena being pregnant.
Okay. I did not notice that detail. So now I'm gonna watch it again before I go to bed. Interesting, because then we could get Maelor the Missing, and
Yeah,
that
because I
because
mean,
that really,
you have a caterpillar into a butterfly, and it's the
which like
maturation of
that
life.
the the Maelor scene with Thorn it's a horrific moment. But when I read it, I was like, this is such a Game of Thrones moment. Like the most horrifying thing you
Yeah,
can imagine, a child being ripped to shreds by a mob. Like, but
right.
it works. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's meant to be uncomfortable. It's meant to be like,
Yes.
because if there's anything that this war is showing, it's that like the conflict between these two parties is, I mean, what did we say early in the show? Is like, is there a clear winner? No. You could make a case actually for the blacks winning or the greens winning. You really can. My
Mm-hmm.
argument is nobody wins this war.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
if this
knowing.
is victory, I pray I never see another.
Yeah, I mean, literally. I mean, all
Yeah.
of the major characters that have been in this show will be dead. The major ones. There's some maybe second tier characters that will live, but that's why again, the Battle of the Gullet with Aegon not being there, Aegon's obviously going to be a major character. He'll be
But
the one
yeah,
at the end.
and so like yeah, in like the post-war sort of thing. So I guess they're. I mean, I'm kind of at the understanding that we're not going to get anything after the Hour of the Wolf. Like
Yeah,
that's kind of
like
my, which
kind
sucks because
of-
I really like. I know it's gonna sound like the weirdest thing. I want to see post-torture Thailand on the council for Aegon as part of the regents when it's because he was a Green supporter, but it's
yes.
written that he served Aegon faithfully. Like
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I thought that would have been a cool dynamic, but I've kind of made my peace that it's just not going to be a thing I'm going to get on screen.
Yeah, I kind of felt like the end will either yeah, will probably be make something with the Hour of the Wolf or just a shot of Aegon being on the throne and
And then
like,
cue the
hey,
theme music.
technically if you want to like say like, well, Daemon and Rhaenyra's child ended up on the throne, so they kind of won, but
But Aegon was still the
you
last,
know,
or like Aegon the second
right.
was the last one standing at the end of the war. Like
So yeah, it's all yeah.
define winning. Like really, like
Yeah.
it's not.
Um
Yeah, there's not a scoreboard in war. All right, we are a little over time already, and I could continue to talk about this with Shaee for probably 2 more hours if it wasn't going to be such a burden for me to edit it. But we do have to call it a show here. Shaee, thank you so much for coming on with me today. This has been an absolute pleasure. If your schedule works out, I would love to have you on the show for the next few weeks. But me and him will work that out in private. I'm gonna slide into his DMs. Only 1 or 2 explicit photos. It's just my feet. Okay, he's got a weird layers thing going on. No, I'm kidding. But thank you again, Shaee. Those listening, if you've made it to the end, please like, please share, please subscribe, please 5 stars. All those common tags that we put at the end of these sort of things. Anything you want to say to the people at home before we head out?
No, I appreciate everybody, and just thanks again, Doug, for having me on, and I'll look forward to the next couple weeks.
Love it. Peace out, y'all.
Thank you for joining us. Please join us again next week.